We're not politically correct, we just have common sense.
Unscripted, unfiltered, unfaltering. Show of Support's Hunt for Heroes offers tributes and true stories of remarkable courage.
If these terrorists could come in your bedroom, they'd kill you, your wife, and your kids. And that's what these men are fighting to protect us from, these murdering idiots. And they're taking them out so that we don't have to deal with them over here.
Show of Support started it all just after the shock and awe bound a nation together. Now, years of footage portraying wounded veterans, deer stands, and standing ovations. Hunt for Heroes, that started as one man's way to say thanks, is now a series that many say is way overdue.
I ain't never felt like that before, and I want to feel that again.
It's just a raw emotion.
They left us being loved and being honored for the heroes that they are.
We still have 40,000 injured troops.
If you threaten our people and our way of life, we will find you wherever you may be hiding, in the place you feel most safe, and we'll kill you in your own bedroom. Thank you for being a country worth fighting for. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
It's going to take a while to get around to all of them, but there's no quitting. It'll never stop as long as I'm breathing.
Show of Support Hunt for Heroes is made possible through a partnership with Pioneer Natural Resources, Boss Blinds, Kel-Tec, Tico Field Service, Double J Ranches, CBT Charities, and Christmas for our troops.
I started this is because of 9/11 and people doing what they were doing, like going overseas and taking the fight to the enemy over there on our behalf, which is what I wanted to see happen. And it's just a way of saying thanks. The first year I took 2 men, and neither one of them had a rifle, so I loaned them my 2 deer hunting rifles. The next year I took 12 men, and I didn't have 12 rifles. So I called 12 buddies and I said, hey man, I need some money. We're gonna do something. So my point being, it's tradition that we now present you with a rifle to use on this hunt, and a rifle that I hope you will use later and remember back to this weekend. And remember this event. We'll go down to the range here in a second and let y'all shoot them and get used to them a little bit. They're ready to shoot right now. I just hope you enjoy it. I really do.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Should be a sling.
Normally when the guides and combat veterans meet for the first time, it's filled with cordial and courteous introductions, followed by anxious mingling and getting a feel for the place. However, everyone here feels the heart-wrenching range of emotion Terry Johnson is living with right now. He realizes there are those who think this hunt shouldn't be happening. He felt that way as well.
As so many people have already heard, on November 15th, 2012, a tragic, catastrophic accident involving our parade float and a train cost us the lives of 4 of our war-hardened veterans. We also had 16 that were injured, including some of the wives of our veterans that we had brought to honor and say thanks and show our gratitude for all they've done to keep us safe. This being our first hunt, I want to dedicate this hunt to the men and women who were injured on November 15th. And I would like everybody to know we are going to continue this project. We're going to make it bigger and better. We owe it to the ones we lost. We owe it to those that were injured. We owe it to those that still serve.
On a previous edition of Hunt for Heroes, we told you the story of Jeremy Smith. On that same hunt here on the famous Shiner Ranch, Jeremy is joined by Ryan Jensen, Luke Murphy, and Richard Mulrine. As they will soon discover, this hunt, this incredible landscape, can lift spirits sometimes broken by war.
There's just nothing better than getting around a bunch of guys that are like me, that have worn the boots and been on the ground and fought the fight, dealt with the adversity afterwards, and to be out here in the middle of nowhere, hunting some of the finest deer in Texas. Words just can't put it into perspective how cool it really is.
It was unbelievable. It was a breathtaking experience, and you know, it got my heart pounding, and you know, ready to take something out. But it was just trying to find the right deer was key to the hunt.
I've never experienced any kind of real hunting experience like this. This has been an absolute eye-opener.
Terry Johnson entertained the idea of not having cameras around for this hunt at the Shiner Ranch. In a way, it was a chance for him to achieve his balance after what has become known as 11-15-12. His grief has been private, but with this hunt, a belief has been reinforced. On this edition of Hunt for Heroes, the footage from this deer hunt was put on hold for weeks. Now, it may be out of order chronologically, but it is time to share this first hunt that comes only weeks after the day West Texas was brought to its knees in sadness. Stay with us. This portion of Show of Support Hunt for Heroes is made possible through a partnership with Pioneer Natural Resources.
Growing up in Maine, there's always been a lot of opportunity for hunting and fishing. And my father's always been, you know, quite the outdoorsman. So, you know, growing up, you know, we spent a lot of time hunting and fishing. You know, mostly out on the lake, doing a lot of bass fishing, and out on the ocean as well.
Ryan Jensen is getting his first taste of the whitetail deer hunting culture that long ago embraced South Texas. With the help of guide Christian Hildebrand, Ryan soaks in every detail, every sound and smell of a place called the Shiner Ranch.
I had actually, you know, been under the impression that South Texas was more of a desert than it was, you know, brushland, and you know, I came out here and I really thought about, you know, how it's possible that they could get, you know, such large deer out here with all the cover and all the brush and stuff, and you know, that wind was blowing real hard, and I saw these two doe looking up on top of this hill, like, you know, I was waiting, I was like, oh geez, there's gonna be some big buck, you know, walking out of there, and sure enough, out slinks this little coyote, you know, scaring all the deer away, and you know, if it had been any other day of the week, that coyote would have been done. I'd have smoked him.
There's a line from an old poem. Water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink. That must be what it feels like for the first-time hunter at the Shiner Ranch. The guides here don't study headgear so much as they study age. If a buck's not fully mature and showing age, that keeps him out of the crosshairs.
The sun went down, you know, pretty quick that night, and but you know, it was all right, you know, because we knew that, you know, we had another day ahead of us tomorrow, and that was going to be the day.
It's been dead, so I charged it for a minute and I'll run it.
Joined the United States Army when I was 17 in the summer of 2003. Immediately went to Fort Lewis, Washington shortly after, deployed to Iraq after the initial invasion in the early months of 2004. Having been there for only a couple months, my vehicle was struck by an IED, and I received injuries to my head, concussion, and some slight hemorrhaging inside of my brain.
Ryan Jensen is so familiar now with the term TBI. It means traumatic brain injury, and it's what so many in the military can spend years working to overcome. The amazing thing is, so many of these guys would go back to the tip of the spear in a second. Ryan, it seems, is no different.
The sun was starting to crest over the brush as we were getting up into the stand that morning. I had high hopes that this was the morning.
Ryan's guide, Christian, points out a buck that might have an effect on Ryan's heartbeat. Closed captioning for Show of Support Hunt for Heroes is made possible through a partnership with Boss Blinds.
It took a little while before the right buck presented himself, and you know, after speaking with my guide Christian, we waited around for roughly 30 or 40 minutes and followed this deer around until we were able to get a good better look at him.
It seems to be taking forever for Ryan Jensen. This buck is doing everything he can do to prevent an open broadside shot.
As I was waiting to get a shot on the deer, he was facing the same direction that we were. He's facing away, and this other deer had come up and was trying to. It seemed like he was trying to push my deer out of the area, and it was just going through my mind. I was sitting there thinking, I was like, no, don't run off, and he pushed that other deer, probably about 20 yards away, but I got lucky when he got close to the fence line. He doubled back around, and he was probably going through his head. He was like, you're not pushing me out of here. This is my food, and I'm not going anywhere.
You get another shell in?
Yeah, I got him.
Another shell in, another shell. Another one. Good job, man.
Thanks.
You got it.
Thanks. I didn't know if he was gonna go down right away. He looked like he was gonna take off, but he dropped though.
Yeah, I made a little run
Yeah,
to the right.
thanks.
He was holding that shoulder the whole time. Made a very good shot on him.
Thanks. After I had taken the shot and the deer had fell to the ground, I got to say I was still super excited, but at the same time I was still relieved that that I'd finally took him down. As I was approaching the deer as he lay in the field, I noticed as I gradually came closer and closer, the deer, he got bigger and bigger. He was a lot bigger than I had originally had thought he was, and as I came up, I just couldn't wait to get up on him and hold him up and get some pictures and get him out of there. It's been probably 6 or 7 years since I'd even gone deer hunting, and to be able to get up there and grab that deer by the antlers, it was a feeling that I haven't experienced in a long time, and I'm really grateful to have had the opportunity to come out here and do this.
Earlier, off in the distance, Christian heard the echo of a rifle shot. That could only mean one thing: a buck is down, and it came from the direction of Rich Mulryan's deer blind.
This is my first deer.
There's nothing like the expression on a man's face with his first deer ever. It's a relief after what Rich has been through.
Well, my name is Rich Mulryan. Born in Maine, raised in Massachusetts, joined the Army out of Tarpon Springs, Florida, so I'll claim the whole East Coast is where I'm from. I've been in the Army about 22 years, and I joined because it was something that I always wanted to do. As a kid, I thought being a soldier was awesome. Last August, we were headed to a governor's meeting in the city of Asadabad, and we had flown in and landed in one of the FOBs, and we were on a dismounted patrol from the fob to the governor's compound. And 2 suicide bombers attacked our patrol by detonating themselves. 4 of us were killed, 9 of us were wounded, and my wound was I had some shrapnel in my leg. It went through my left leg. The scene there was obviously pretty chaotic and horrible. But I gotta say that I'm proud of the soldiers and how they reacted and how they secured the wounded soldiers and how well that everyone was taken care of.
As it turns out, Rich ends up taking 2 bucks here at the Shiner Ranch. It's impossible to measure how much healing is accelerated by the South Texas brush. This portion of Show of Support Hunt for Heroes is made possible through a partnership with Pioneer Natural Resources.
I grew up hunting and fishing in Florida. Spent every available time as a child in the woods or on the water. Deer nowhere as big as they are here in Texas, but just developed a love for it early on.
The unstoppable cycle of morning and afternoon hunts goes on from October to January. Luke Murphy and his guide Bryn Hildebrand decides to get the most they can out of a sunny, windy, cold afternoon.
I joined the Army when I was 17, and I spent 7.5 years in. My last unit was with the 101st Airborne Division Infantry. Did 2 tours, one in '03 for the initial assault into Iraq, and spent a year there that tour, and went back in '05, and I was injured in 2006 by an IED, and I lost my right leg above the knee and had a lot of damage to my left leg as well. Spent a year in the hospital and had 29 surgeries. It was such a relief just knowing that I'd still be able to continue my passion in hunting and fishing.
Lock it down and then back up. Just gonna get ready.
So we weren't sitting there very long before the deer just started appearing out of the brush.
That's him. That's him. Yeah, that's him.
My guide Brand said, "So that's him. That's the oldest deer here. That's the one we want."
Is that him right there? Bolt down, bolt down. Toes to the right. Yeah. There we go. Way to take. Y'all ready? I smile when they go down. Oh, did he? Yeah. Oh, good.
I had complete confidence in the shot, and I knew it was over. I was excited, but I knew that I'd made a good shot. When I finally got to the deer, he was bigger than I thought he was. His brow tines were longer, and the mass, it was just incredible.
Yeah.
It was even better than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, man.
I was just so relieved he was there, and I was there with him, and it was finally over. And
Oh, he's a little bigger than I thought he was.
the excitement was just through the roof.
Yeah.
Brow tines, really old deer.
It's just been a real surreal experience being here in the middle of nowhere, South Texas, on the Shiner Ranch with a bunch of guys like myself who've been the same places and had to deal with the same adversity of coming home, and to get together and have the camaraderie and have a successful hunt. It's just words can't express how grateful I am, and I'm sure they are too.
It's been a great opportunity to come out here and hunt with these, the guys on the ranch. you know, as well as some of the other guys who've served in the military, and the hospitality of the folks down here in Texas has just been, I mean, amazing. I'm so impressed with, you know, how everyone, you know, acts down here. Their manners and demeanor is just outstanding, and to be able to get down and, you know, down in the bush with these guys and just, you know, be myself and be normal. It's just been a real genuine experience, and I'm very happy that I came down here.
As he keeps his distance, Terry Johnson sees the look on the faces of his heroes. As that terrible day, 11/15/12, will never be forgotten. Neither will the smiles and spirits lifted upward here in the South Texas brush. It's plain and simple. There's something that happens to someone at a show of support hunt. Sometimes it's easy to put into words, and oftentimes not so easy. As Terry says goodbye to his group, he is uplifted and inspired to carry on even more than before.